Hi, it's me, Annalisa Boyd, Orthodox Christian wife, mom to 8 kids, bread baker, candy maker, self-proclaimed doula, accidental midwife, and author of The Ascetic Lives of Mothers, Hear Me, and Special Agents of Christ, all available through Ancient Faith Publishing. Yay! Um, I'm still here in the same clothes because it's only been about 10 minutes. So I'm going to do the next little section on us becoming Orthodox. And I left off talking about how my mom had been chrismated and we went to support her and thought it was very strange and noticed all the graven images around the church. We knew at least that was not a good thing, but figured that God would take care of her and her salvation and we do our thing. And I remember my husband commenting that he could never go to a church like this because there was way too much going on. He'd never be able to focus. So we kind of left it there. And over the years, we participated in Agape Vespers and the barbecue that followed. It was mostly about the barbecue that followed. We didn't know why we were processing around the church or anything like that, but the barbecue that followed was, pretty cool. We participated in the St. Nicholas Day celebration, and it was really nice because my mom's church always had gift bags for the kids, and they always included our kids, which I thought was really nice. And it was strange to try to figure out how there were all these nice, wrong people that called themselves Christians, still didn't really want to know anything about Orthodoxy. But once we had gotten to a place where we were getting frustrated with our not just our church, but what we were seeing in Christianity as we knew it, we decided that we were probably going to start looking for, the early church. So we were going to try to find or start a home church because that was what the early church was after all anyway, right? Little did we know. So this one particular year, I took two of our girls and went to the actual Pascha service. And I stood there and I cried the whole time. Now let me just say, when I was growing up, they did these things. For those of you who are cradle Orthodox and may not know, they did altar calls, and that's where they would talk about basically, if you were to die tonight, do you know for sure that you would go to heaven? And if you want to ask Jesus into your heart, come to the front and we'll pray for you and you can ask Jesus into your heart. Truly, I must have done this. Well, as a child, I probably did this 30 or 40 times, truly, up into my teenage years. And then when they started kind of making it more seeker sensitive, it became, instead of having to come forward, it was more of a, if you want to pray this prayer, if you prayed this prayer, they'd pray a prayer of salvation. And if you prayed this prayer, just lift up your hand, with every eye closed and every head bowed. And then it became, don't even raise your hand, but if you prayed this prayer, just look up. Nobody's looking. And I mean, all in all, I probably asked, not Jesus into my heart, but prayed that prayer, that sinner's prayer, 100 times at least. And so, it was a very different thing going into the Orthodox Church, being there for the service, hearing scripture being sung. That amazed me. I didn't think, I had tried going once before and they didn't even have Bibles in the church. And here they were singing the scriptures. I was floored. And it was not about the pastor. And it was not, whether he was a good speaker or could make the congregation laugh. It was not about the music, whether it was contemporary or, or hymns. It wasn't about the mood that was in the room. It was about God. The priest spent most of the time with his back turned to us, praying at the altar. It blew my mind. Well, my husband hadn't come, so I had to go home and try to explain to him, the next morning while we're getting ready to go to Agape Vespers, what the heck just happened to me. And try to figure out what we were going to do about it. So we were like, okay, well, that's interesting. We will, how about we just kind of do a little research on church history, and then we'll move on and we'll go find the early church and do that. There'll be more. It's still in this outfit.